Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 107 of Report This Post, the podcast about bad posts and bad people. My name is Geiger, and that is Christian.
Brains!
And we are your hosts with the posts. Every week, Christian and I select a different topic and then find horrible posts for your listening pleasure. This week's topic? Zombies.
That's right. An entire episode devoted to the Cranberries song. That would...
That lady's a zombie now, right? Didn't we lose her?
Yeah, we lost. Yeah, we did.
Yeah, that's right, everyone. The most requested topic from 2013. It's zombies. Boy, oh boy, this was a big thing a while ago. Remember that? When everyone on the goddamn internet and all the least interesting normies who thought they were super interesting really loved those zombies back then. The sort of successor to the Chuck Norris joke.
Kind of, yeah.
Around the same time as the Epic Bacon, shit like that.
yeah. The monkey ninja zombie pirate.
Sure,
Yeah.
We got to do a pirates episode, boy. Remember, Talk Like a Pirate Day. Boy, oh boy. Yep. God damn it. So yeah, it's not as even though if it's not as in vogue, the zombie. There's still a lot of really bad posts online.
It's become more embedded. It's rather than being on the fringe of popular culture now, it's just kind of like embedded in it now. I just saw there's a third or second spinoff of The Walking Dead coming out like this weekend.
Sure.
Never
saw a second of any of it.
Doesn't interest me in the least. Used to think zombies were so cool back in college. I went to school in Pittsburgh, and George Romero and Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, all those were filmed there, so that was really cool to see. And then at one point I just thought I don't care anymore. So
yeah, I think that seems hot. I've seen a handful of zombie flicks, but it never really occurred to me why I would care once the credits ended. All right.
you weren't like, I need more of this. Yeah.
So, but a lot of creeps really into it. So, great. Maybe we should read some posts from some of these little weirdos.
I think that's the best idea you've had all week. So, user Sani,
that's actually quite true. It's been a rough week idea-wise for me.
User Sani asked our zombie, if all the girls in the world turned zombie, would you still have sex and have babies with a zombie girl? Why or why not? And a now deleted user commented, well, if I wasn't a zombie, I'd have to say no. A dead rotting vagina, a hard penis does not make. But user zombie fetish with a 0 instead of an O simply replied, yes.
Yeah. Boy, that is the coolest way to spell zombie, with a 0 in place of the O. Oh boy.
Well, the other version of it was I assume already taken. So it's like, oh man. Are you looking it up now?
Oh, of course I'm looking up. Let's see. There's zombie with an O is there. They've only made one post ever, and it was titled "Copping a Feel During the Zombie Apocalypse."
God damn.
Yeah, so there's at least several guys who enjoy posting on Reddit about having sex with zombies, or at least being aroused by zombies, or even kind of more pathetic is just grabbing a zombie's tit or something. Like, not even
copping a feel off a corpse. Yeah, that's cool.
And that implies no consent, I believe, which is even more troublesome.
Can the dead consent? Folks, comment below. Let's hear your take on it.
Please do. We enjoy not reading those comments generally. It's a great hobby of mine to simply ignore them. Well, here's a thread from R. True Off My Chest. I became very interested in zombies and things like that. Monsters like it, and one-off creatures in games like the goblins from Dark Souls 2. It gradually escalated from there. Now I can't get off without imagining it. Late-stage syphilis, bodies that are horribly mutilated, zombies, eldritch horrors, you name it. I've never been liked by my peers, and my family wasn't physically affectionate. I was always touch-starved and still am quite lonely. But TV was an escape. My sister showed me my first horror movie. I want to say it was Are You Scared of the Dark? Anyway, I remember a scene very vividly. A woman was crouched on her knees, hands bound in her own warm, still-living intestines. I wasn't as sexually interested in it back then, but it kick-started my love for that kind of stuff. After that, I consumed more horror material. Since I knew I was gay from a young age, my attraction towards Michael Myers and Jason Voorhees wasn't too unusual. I know I should be ashamed. I should want to seek help, but I'm okay with this. I've thought about working in morgues or hospitals, but I can't focus on the educational requirements. I don't tell any therapist or my family when I was younger. I told my cousins I was a necrophiliac because I thought it meant likes corpses in a non-sexual manner. Turns out I am, but I can't actually tell them. I'm starting to figure that I'll never actually be satisfied by a human relationship, and I'm bothered by this because I'm cripplingly lonely. A user commented, "Get help, because that's sick, man. Think of all the diseases you could get. Ugh." To which the OP responded, "That's what condoms are for, my man."
Whoa. Boy, this is like a tiramisu of there's some layers
Yeah.
to this.
It is indeed like a rum-soaked ladyfinger coffee dessert. I agree. Putting on a condom to fuck a corpse is, I don't know. There's something. It feels a little too like there's just too much thought into it. You know what I mean? Like you should just be fucking a corpse. Like,
if you're going the extra, okay, yeah. If you're taking the effort,
do it. You're right. You know, it's like light candles and stuff too. Like really make it a thing. Just do it. Come on.
Bring in a bunch of black dead roses. Yeah.
Like whatever disease you could get is probably pales in comparison to what just fucking a corpse would do to your brain after a while. Just in general. So,
maybe that's what he needs to fix his brain. You ever think about that?
Some good zombie puss.
Judge not. Since I was gay from a young age, my attraction towards Michael Myers and Jason Voorhees wasn't too unusual. Is really that sent me. Wow, that's a statement. That is a statement.
Your classic gay attraction. Two giant monsters with masks on.
Okay.
That are likely very unattractive underneath those masks, you could probably say, right?
So you have a type? I mean, it's yeah. I mean, I'm gay, so
you know me.
Oh fuck! All right, that's fun. Well, changing gears a little bit, this was posted to Our Divorce, of all places, by a now deleted user. Divorce is sort of like the zombie apocalypse. The person you loved is dead and gone, and something else is living inside their body. You grieve. You hurt so freaking bad. You cry and you scream. That zombie that looks like your love will eat your brain for sure if you let it. You can look at that zombie with love, and it will hurt your heart so bad that you will want to lock it in your barn and keep it safe. But in the end, you're probably going to just have to end it.
That's convoluted, but all right.
Edited to say, thanks for the gold. My first ever. Made me so happy that I braved the cold to walk outdoors. Okay.
What? All right.
Yeah. Cran Apple 20 Geiger24/7 commented, "That really makes sense. Don't go stabbing people in the head now. That's bad, okay?" To which the OP replied, "I just wish there was a way to turn back the clock." So, just some really chilling stuff.
So chilling, he walked outside. Don't know why he added that at all. Yeah, that's...
Thanks for the gold. I left my house.
Yeah.
Finally.
I guess if you're getting gold on Reddit, your first instinct should be, I gotta get away from the computer. This is pathetic.
I made a mistake, yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully the ex doesn't try to take that gold from him, huh?
Well, if she's in the barn, presumably dead, I think we're all set, folks.
And that's where your old lady is now?
Oh, what's your post?
So Twitter user at Nifwif tweeted this out. Hard to overstate the impact the zombie apocalypse genre had on normalizing the idea of mowing down or driving through crowds of unarmed people as self-defense. Remember how popular zombie shit was 4 or 5 years ago? It went straight to conservatives' lizard brains. And they all went out and bought Ford F-150s and AR-15s, and now this is where we're at. I think the most explicit connection was made in AMC's 2017 Fear the Walking Dead, in which, in the second episode, anti-police protests erupt over the shooting of a black, quote, zombie. Although it didn't make it explicit, it was pretty clearly referencing Black Lives Matter, and the message was extremely reactionary. See, these BLM protesters will protest any police shooting no matter how justified, even if it was a fictional undead creature. Of course, everyone knows zombies aren't real, but one has to question why, in that cultural moment, writers were contriving reasons for anti-racist protests to be irrational and unjustified, and justifications for running over and mowing down unarmed humanoids. Which I think is a horrible thing to call a black person, but... okay.
Come on.
Yeah, so this is a pretty great example of someone just...
projecting. Yes.
Absolute projection and just tying whatever they're into whatever nonsense is on the television.
I don't... Yeah, it's like positioning that, like, zombies aren't real, right? So you don't have to go through this rigmarole of of like, this is just like The Walking Dead, and it's because of The Walking Dead. Like, no, it's not. Like, no, there's a definite dividing line between why these people are running people over and why they need their little dick trucks and their AR-15s. So it's not because they saw AMC show and they're like, that's fucking cool, I'm gonna do that, and then just decided to mow some people down. So yeah, very classic two things together things.
Yeah, it's not realizing that the reason that stuff was on TV is because all that stuff was already going on. It wasn't like, I have an idea to trick some conservatives.
Yeah. How can I get somebody to mow into a bunch of people? Oh, I know. Well,
bunch of humanoids.
That's going to enter the lexicon, I feel. Okay, that's good. In a similar vein, I found this set of tweets. At Son of Baldwin tweeted, which, just looking at it again, Alec, any of the other ones, whatever the other Baldwins are, who knows? American horror films are very telling about white folks' anxieties. The lack of folks of color and queer folk in them is instructive. God. And at morbid_elation, whose display name is Nunya Bidness, replied, You articulate my aversion to the zombie genre. Cultural appropriation aside, it's about white anxiety. POC are their zombies. So.
Yeah. Yeah. That I really hate how many times they use the word folks in that first one. I don't. It's anyone that like says folks and y'all. I don't trust them online when they say it, especially if they're Son of Baldwin, who's a author of a book, which means he's a bad person because authors are bad people. From what I've noticed. I don't know why he's called Son of Baldwin. His name's Robert Jones. So,
Goddamn.
Well, and none of your business.
You like that?
You know what? And their username is Morbid Elation. Yeah. Oh, several people I know follow them. All right. I'll say no more. So, I would hate to besmirch some of my followers' followers. A follower of my follower is a friend. Is that how it goes?
I don't think so, no.
Yeah. Because even my followers aren't my friends, so I think that's fitting. So I found this great movie review on IMDb of Pride and Prejudice and Zombies by user Marzi789659. I can't remember seeing anything as racist in theater in my life. This is an awful movie. It's as if Donald Trump has directed it. Speaking of zombies. The zombies who have come from the East are not zombies in the traditional sense. They are much more intelligent than the usual zombies, and they have feelings, and they can be among us without being known. They have their own community and even church, and as the, quote, bad guy suggests, humans can be at peace with them as long as they're controlled, fed pig brain, while there's always something innately wrong with them that only needs an ignition. They are the others, who are dangerous and we can't trust, and, therefore, should destroy the last remaining bridge on the river so they can't enter the land? How about building a wall while you're at it? The heroes are the ones who kill the shit out of these dangerous others and destroy the bridge, while the guy proposing to live peacefully with the zombie community, who are seemingly peaceful ones, turn out to be a secret zombie all along. And then in parentheses, Obama's secretly Muslim, and that's why he prefers diplomacy to bombing people. And the last scene only reminds to mind that, oh, you should have built that wall sooner. It was a horrible, horrible experience to see this movie. I felt really bad after seeing it, and I found other articles on the internet explaining the underlying racism of this movie. Anyway, if you don't feel the racism, then congratulations on your white American person.
Yep.
7 out of 48 users found this review helpful.
Yeah. Yes. All the other women with giant glasses that read the reviews on IMDb were like, yes. They're like snapping their fingers.
Yeah. I like the, she said, like, I then read articles that explained that it was racist. Like, she didn't think this until she read those articles.
And then felt compelled. Again, it's another classic mash 'em up situation of like, oh, I saw this thing. How can I tie this into something that's like either political or social or whatever? Like, yeah. I have to connect these dots somehow.
Yeah, I don't know why that. I mean, horror and sci-fi really. You know, a lot of those movies do have, like, you know, analogous meetings and stuff like that, but people will just go out of the way to match it to whatever the fuck their stupid ass shit's into.
Every movie this woman watches, she just immediately gets on Google and types the name in, and then it's like racist, sexist, homophobic.
And
like
pretty much every movie will do that. So,
yep. This movie did not pass the Bechdel test, by the way. So. Too bad.
Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, which, boy, I remember the first time seeing that, and I just wanted to launch myself into the sun. What a stupid fucking, just, starred Matt Smith.
Of Doctor Who fame. Yes.
Oh, is he? Mm-hmm. And,
yes, sir.
Lily James. And she is a Mrs. Who, as in who the fuck's that?
She was on Downton Abbey. Great show.
Never seen. Oh yeah, she's this attractive lady from from something I've watched.
Cinderella, the live action Cinderella.
Baby Driver, that's what it was. Fun movie.
What if it was a guy and it was Cinderfella? Speaking of IMDb, here's a 1-star review of Danny Boyle's zombie movie, 28 Days Later.
Okay.
28 days into a newly zombified London is all it takes for the British military to start looking for women to gang rape. Forget about the fact that there are zombies everywhere. Infrastructure and government are completely gone, making both survival on a daily basis and long-term difficult at best. What is their main concern, though? Sex. Life's not worth living without women to bang, and some poor slob was going to eat his own gun until Dearest Commander, the former doctor, promised to find them women to gang rape. Yes, friends, who knew that the first rule of zombie and post-apocalyptic survival in those first few death-filled and insanely frightening weeks is having women handy to gang rape? And because it's so very important, this secondary plot quickly overtook the primary plot, and these broken military soldiers ignored their own safety to their horrific demise while trying to get their rape on. I just saw this movie and can't believe it actually won awards. It is absolutely round the bend ridiculous, and I'm glad I waited for the free viewing and didn't actually pay money to see it. Supporting this type of BS, where a rape culture is not only okay, but overrides basic human survival, just encourages those nutters to keep making these idiotic films. So let's not do that.
Okay. So... Would you say the movie was framing the rape as a good thing?
Yeah.
From your memory of the movie,
I have seen this movie actually relatively recently. I rewatched it, and not only does that not overtake the plot in any sense, but it's insanely frowned upon by the main character, who is at gunpoint. Forced to go along with the plan.
I like that your review of 28 Days Later is that the main character frowns upon gang rape. He says no thank you to that, pal.
So, this review to me is a bunch of hogwash. Let's say that. I agree with the idea that rape should not be a plot device in movies, but this definitely was not one where it was the entire film. So, okay.
I remember I remember that being like the first time I saw a zombie movie, and I was like, "Wow, this is actually zombie movies are fucking great."
Okay.
And then I went online to see some chatter about it, and then there was a lot of dorks arguing that it wasn't actually a zombie movie because they moved too fast.
They ran.
And then I realized like, I don't like zombies at all actually, because they inspire people like this to talk on the internet. Jesus Christ, just enjoy the fucking movie.
Anti-zombie immediately because of it. Yeah.
Ugh. Well, found a wonderful thread titled Jew Doctor Foresees ISIS Launching a Zombie Apocalypse Upon the West by Releasing Virus into Water Supplies. From, of course, Stormfront.org. Dr. Arnold T. Blumberg, a world-renowned zombie scholar and expert, believes the spread of a virus that could turn us into rabid killers is possible.
Okay.
He said, the spread of a virus that could depersonalize human beings into rabid killers is conceivable. It is a realistic scenario. The thought of a terrorist group such as ISIS developing a similar zombifying virus is certainly worrying. And Therion88 responded with this. Zombies are impossible. You cannot reanimate dead flesh. If I could, I would raise the SS. It's perfectly.
Yeah.
Perfectly perfect.
My man's played a little bit too much Wolfenstein, I think, because that's the entire plot of that game.
Yeah, but he just like hangs out, tries to just hang out with the Nazis.
Just
puts his guns down.
I can't get past the first level. The zombie SS keeps shooting me. World-renowned zombie scholar and expert is the most made.
And of course, a guy on Stormfront ignores that part and just says, some Jew doctor says this is happening. Yeah.
That rocks. Simplifying it for his audience, that you got to give him credit.
About Arnold T. Blumberg, Dr. Arnold T. Blumberg is the Doctor of the Dead, a world-renowned zombie scholar and expert, as well as pop culture and comics historian and educator. See, he released a book called Cinema and Sorcery, the Comprehensive Guide to Fantasy Film. Mm-hmm. Very cool.
And what is he a doctor of? Does it say? What is his doctorate in?
Being a complete fucking loser. Didn't know they still offered those courses, did they?
How many years schooling does that take?
Liberal arts degrees, huh?
Well, I'm not going to comment on that. Speaking of, Jay Bravo, great name, posted this on the boards over at stormfront.org.
Okay.
So The Walking Dead spinoff is out. Watch the pilot, and all I can say is that I never wanted the protagonist to get eaten by the zombies that much. The quote-unquote heroes are a family of race mixers, drug addicts, and a mud shark daughter who gets to stare at her Negroid boyfriend's my dick in one scene, and we have to watch them kiss several times. Mom's living with a Mideastern/Mexican type, and her son is a drug addict. School principal looks like Obongo, by the way, and listens in on one of his school's teacher's classes via wiretapping. The whole thing has Jew World Order written all over it. The zombies biting a chunk out of that cesspool was like a relief. And Tremley replied, the ending was good where the black guy was shot and run over.
That's the simple things in life, you know?
It's just 5 stars.
Yeah. It's like, really wasn't into it, but the end got me real good. Nice twist.
Yeah, good cliffhanger, right?
Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah, I think we have another post later on, I believe, that covers the various races in Walking Dead. So there are many people online who seem to have discovered that, and yeah, now you're knowing why I never watched it myself. So now, Christian, have you heard of the movie The Night Eats the World from 2018?
I have not.
All right, well, here's a description of it. After waking up in an apartment the night after a raging party, Sam comes face to face with his new reality. An army of zombies has invaded the streets of Paris, and he is one of the lone survivors. Petrified with fear, he barricades himself inside the building to survive. He wonders how long can he last in silence and solitude, and the answer comes when he learns that he's not all alone after all. Pretty good.
Okay.
But here's a review from Letterboxd. Great website. 2.5 stars. It's like Shaun of the Dead, but it's only one guy and there's no comedy. He gets so lonely he thinks about maybe becoming friends with the zombies. What the fuck? There were a couple good moments. Here's some vegan alerts. It's inferred that a cat is shot and non-vegan food is featured. So,
come on.
So, heads up, everybody.
Come on. All right. Now now you use Letterboxd. Is that something that people do, or is that just this person's? That was this.
No,
that was what they.
There's one psychopath who does that. Yeah.
He rewrites a review of the movie Critters, and it's like, by the way, guys, these guys are they're eating some non-plant material in this movie, so just be warned.
I wonder what they thought of Soylent Green.
Their mind would just absolutely snap if they watch that film.
And probably got really off to Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, which is sort of revenge, right?
It's a little bit an inverse, yeah.